Thanks for tuning in at home, and thanks for all of you for sticking around here at the 5th annual Wild West Showdown hosted by the Slaughter County Roller Vixens. Woo! We're going to quick run through rosters. My name is Spider, and I'm joined by
La Grande Mort.
La Grande Mort. San Fernando Valley Junior Derby Fast Times is rostered number 0, Sandra Demolish, 124, Lita Riot, 180, A Lot of Moves, 204, Bippity Boppity Bruise, 2333, Devil or Nothing, 28, Black Eyed Blondie, 360, Bamber, 4302, Cha Cha Glide, 5150, Maya Grain, 664, Psycho Simpson, 85, Felony Melanie, 8 ounces of Monkey Mess, 40 Rabies with Coach Dad and Coach McShovin.
And from Seattle, we have the I-5 Rollergirls with number 16, T-Pain, number 18, L'Accelerator, 21, Phoebe Sting, 25, Serrated Blade, 26, Maya Massacre, 3 would have to be Lexi and I Know It, number 31, Evil MacNeville, number 35 is Hunter, 4 is Malice in Wonderland, 5 is Michael Kilbon, 52 is Death by Beth, 55 is Karmic Death, number 9, Audrey Hedburn, 91, Destroyer. They are coached by Coach Cutta and Coach Vito. Let's make some derby happen, Spider.
Pretty excited. San Fernando coming off an earlier win against the Seattle Derby Brats, so looking forward to seeing what they bring against I-5 Rollergirls, a very prolific team in junior roller derby. So I'd like to see how all of this plays out. San Fernando Valley practicing in Sylmar, California, which is Los Angeles.
Absolutely. I-5 Rollergirls coming off a win over Rocky Mountain earlier today. So both teams have played a game, so not necessarily freshness being a factor here potentially.
They have youth on their side.
Yes, they do, and that is Destroyer number 91 against Maya Grain 5150 to start this off. Destroyer breaking through the front of the pack as lead jammer.
Yeah, Maya Grain was having a hard time getting past and usurping that back wall of defense as they move in a forward lead direction. She eventually then is able to bust through on that initial pass. Destroyer, though, threw on a scoring pass for 4 points.
And Destroyer cracking the egg to begin with, but Maya Grain not doing too bad. Phoebe Sting looking to put some positional blocking, tries to get her in turn 4, can't quite do it, but Destroyer already around for another 4.
And you watched as Audrey Hedburn moves forward with T-Pain to formulate that wall up front to support Destroyer as number 52, Death by Beth, currently sitting in the penalty box for the I-5 Rollergirls.
Psycho Simpson doing some good work with her teammate Sandra Demolish there in the back. 4 points put up, sorry, for San Fernando.
San Fernando Valley sending to the penalty box for an out of play. 180, A Lot of Moves.
And Death by Beth also in there as well, so no blocker advantage starting this jam. L'Accelerator coming in 12-8 from that first jam, 28 minutes to go.
Rabies, number 40, donning the star on behalf of San Fernando. She was utilized pretty heavily earlier today in the bout against Seattle Derby Brats, and the honor is actually going to go to I-5 Rollergirls, L'Accelerator.
L'Accelerator out front, but just not by a whole lot. She's going to have to hit it and quit it if she wants to keep that differential. Both jammers having a little pile up, but L'Accelerator breaks out for her 4.
Felony Melanie also hitting the seat in the penalty box on behalf of San Fernando Valley Fast Times. 4 points on the scoreboard for Rabies, number 40, jamming on behalf of San Fernando.
L'Accelerator making that differential 4-8-4 in that jam. Let me tell you, Spider, so far both teams fielding extremely fast jammers, and we are seeing very quick play from this pack.
I think we can expect that to be par for the course as we move through this bout, although that's conjecture on my part. But I think it's warranted given the kind of play that both of these teams have brought to the Wild West Showdown.
Absolutely. When we come back, that's going to be Karmic Death 55 against Maya Grain 5150 with a 2-blocker advantage to I-5.
Evil MacNeville with a nice shutdown on the inside lane on Maya Grain 5154. San Fernando, however, she gets through, picks up lead jammer status for fast times.
Serrated Blade headed to the penalty box for I-5 to kind of even it up a bit. But meanwhile, Maya Grain is on a scoring pass. Swing and miss against Audrey Hedburn. Evil McNeil trying to pick her up, and Audrey Hedburn trying to get back in the mix, but she makes it through.
That was a sandwich of Evil McNeil and Audrey Hedburn. An illegal procedure. Illegal procedure on Karmic Death, headed to the penalty box. She was the jammer for I-5 Rollergirls. So right at the end there, she's now headed to the penalty box. This will be a power start for number 40, Rabies.
And this is what they're looking for. Psycho Simpson joining the pack late. 2016. This is a great opportunity for Rabies right now for San Fernando Valley.
Beautiful sweep for San Fernando as they push out the opposition. Phoebe Sting, Hunter, and clear the pathway for Rabies number 40. She gets through that initial pass. Felony Melanie now released from the penalty box. Pardon me, Le Grand Mort.
And they are back at full strength. San Fernando proving so far that they are a tough competitor, and this may be what they need to keep the momentum going on their side. Nice breakup by San Fernando, taking the accelerator down, making that nice and clear for Rabies as she spins around that pack.
And that 5-point indicator by Edie, the jam ref here for San Fernando, at least in this first half.
And a slightly lessened I-5 is having a tough time keeping a hold of Rabies. She's spreading like a wildfire. Huge hit from Hunter to put her back in check.
Hunter goes in, tries to catch her once again, lets her go. We have Rabies through on a 5-point scoring pass. Pivot, oh, she got 20 points. Pivot Star now makes uniforms comfortable. Athletic shirts that don't snag on Velcro, which is a kind of a big deal when you have wrist guards and elbow guards and
all sorts
pads.
of things hitting you. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you try one on today at the Pivot Star booth, you will get entered to win $50 to spend at pivotstar.com.
So check out Pivot Star. When we come back, that's Destroyer Maya Grain back at the line again. Destroyer trying to pick back some of those points. She's got a tough 3-wall, but she does get lead jammer. Destroyer, when she's determined, she is a force of nature.
Head to the penalty box, pivot 2X 333, Devil or Nothing for San Fernando.
Destroyer picks up her 4, but Maya Grain breaks out and now is on her scoring pass as well.
Monkey Mess now trying to stay and maintain position with her very slight frame out in front of Destroyer. Destroyer is able to burst through, and 5 points put down for Destroyer.
Destroyer feeling the heat from Maya Grain is going to keep the differential her direction, 9 points to San Fernando's 4.
The SmackShack.net. It's Tacoma's full roller derby retail store located on Mildred. Check out their products page to take a look for yourself at some of the items they offer. The SmackShack.net.
And that's Accelerator number 18 for I-5 up against Rabies for San Fernando in the blue and green. Fast times indeed, Spider. This has been a quick game.
Sierra Blade and My Massacre staving off Rabies. They're a pretty phenomenal thing to do in and of itself. But again, I-5 Rollergirls is a powerhouse. You do have Rabies pushing through. And on that initial pass, 4 points on the board, though, for Accelerator, number 18.
Rabies tries to get around Maya Massacre. Maya takes her out in air.
And that would be why she's headed to the penalty box.
Exactly.
They right themselves. Accelerator once again through 5 points this time around. That's going to be 9 points for her total this far in this jam. 4 points on the scoreboard for Rabies, number 40. Nice push in by 31 Evil McNeil on Rabies, number 40 for San Fernando.
Resetting Accelerator back to the back of the pack. Accelerator making her own hole as she scoots around her players to pick up 4 more points, but Rabies not far behind with 4 of her own. I-5 closing the gap 42 to 48, 22 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Oh, shutdown push to the infield. Phoebe Sting working with Evil McNeil. Evil McNeil with a force out. However, Sandra Demolish goes in for a heavy hit of her own.
Lita Riot making sure Lexcelerator's got to earn it. Lexcelerator hopping and jumping over every skater she can, but having a tough time right there out of turn 1.
SureGrip.com. Check out SureGrip's line of zombie wheels. All zombie wheels are made in the United States of America. They feature anodized aluminum hubs for maximum durability and precise feel while maintaining rock-solid stability. SureGrip.com since 1937.
And when we come back, that's Destroyer 91 for I-5 up against Psycho Simpson. This is Psycho Simpson, 664, her first jam tonight, I believe.
Indeed, you are correct, sir. Getting shut down by 55 Karmic Death. Looking to evade the back. Destroyer hopping again over San Fernando's down skater. Pulls through for that coveted spot. Pivot for San Fernando Valley, also taking a trip to the penalty box. That's Maya Grain.
Destroyer squeezing her way through, picking up her 4 points and closing it down. Spider, what has been happening a lot during this game is both these teams have been letting these jams roll out, if not to their natural conclusion, to very close to their natural conclusion. Haven't seen a lot of hit it and quit it. I wonder if that's a strategy being employed by both teams.
As you can see by the point score, at least currently, although only 10 minutes or so have passed. I know it's 9.5. Everybody at home, I knew that. I can add, but they're really even scores. Yeah. So well-matched teams bring the heat. So sometimes it's just about working that clock and trying to come up with a vantage point. We haven't lost a lot of jammers to the penalty box, so that could potentially be a difference as well. So a lot less penalties for both teams.
Absolutely. Maya Massacre's breaking through and on her scoring pass. Psycho Simpson still to break through. Gets around Lexi, and I know it. Maya Massacre almost helped out by Lita Riot, but it looks like Lita Riot is going to head to the box for what I'm assuming was a back block.
Need a DJ? No, you need an amazing DJ.
Yes, you do.
Who's guaranteed to bring high energy to your event. You can find DJ Rich Nice on Facebook. Drop him a line, check him out. Maybe you can fly him to wherever you are, everyone at home.
DJ Rich Nice, the awesome DJ that you deserve. Come back, that is Rabies and Lexcelerator. Lexcelerator able to sneak in the inside line. Diminished pack right now, 2 blocker advantage for I-5, and that helped Lexcelerator right there.
Also to be of note, we've had a lot of tight cohesiveness in pack play as opposed to a lot of stringing out of players and a lot of spanning bridges so far in this game. And some of that has to do with just the massive amounts of speed that both teams are applying.
And you may notice this rare animal that's been happening on both teams, and it's called offense. It's been happening in an aggressive fashion where people have been
like a unicorn.
Yeah, people have been coming up and trying to break up walls rather than standing passively by and waiting for the pack to end up in a no-pack situation.
Theoretically, this is a very good idea.
This is, I think that on paper, it does pencil out.
It does. I'm here to verify that. Maya Green, 5150, now dunning the star for. I think I just walked away from a really good joke there. I apologize.
And Destroyer, number 91. Destroyer looking for that little sliver. It's all she needs. She's got it. Maya Green, no slouch herself, but she's up against Karmic Death and breaks through just about a half track behind.
I feel like we just talked about that 2 jams ago.
Exactly.
And through Destroyer number 91, shutting it down. 4 points on the scoreboard. 4 points for Maya Green as well. 4-4.
74-55, 17 minutes, 40 seconds left in this game, in this first period. Whew, God, I feel like that's going to happen again.
It might.
It might.
We have the first official review. Vito heading out there. And
so we'd like
contesting points might be.
We'd like to give you a little heads up about Toad House Pizza and Beer Garden. If you're 21 or over, head up onto the beer garden, say hi to the boys from Toad House Pizza, and you know, while you're there, it wouldn't hurt to enjoy one of the best beers on tap up there right now. And if you're ever in Bremerton and want to enjoy some fine pizza and beer, two of my favorite things, check them out.
Also located, well, in Bremerton, Silverdale area is Fingers Duke.
Oh, yes.
But you can also go to fingersduke.com. They're a screen printing company, and they are much more than average.
Not just your average one.
No, they are extraordinary, and they love a challenge. So they're open to accepting any and all projects that they feel are within their reach. I think even slightly beyond their reach, because they strive for greatness.
Yeah, I think there's very little that's going to be out of their reach.
So they offer services for the creation of logos, t-shirt graphics, posters, flyers, album covers, skateboards, as well as photography and website design. Basically anything you are after, they will do their best to meet your needs. Fingersduke.com. Or if you're in Silverdale, you can go to the Silverdale Mall.
I'm totally going to get them for my first album, which I will likely never make. But when I do, Fingers Duke, that's what's going to happen.
Le Grand Mort Exposé.
And we'll be finding out what happened to that official review in a moment. Maya Massacre and Maya Grain, the Battle of the Mayas. Maya Grain first to the front of the pack, behind Audrey Hepburn right up there. Maya Massacre has been recycled a couple of times, having a tough time behind that three wall. Maya Grain looks like she's going to be recycled a bit as well. Maya Massacre breaking through. Last line of defense, Lita Wright doing a great job defensively this game. Maya Massacre picking up that lead jammer. But she's got a tough defense right now. Bifurcated pack, knocking people around. Maya Massacre's been recycled. Maya Grain now picking up a back block penalty, so this is a power jam for Maya Massacre, who has the lead jammer.
That official review had to do with the awarding of points on an apex jump. It was determined that the points would not be awarded because they happened after the whistle.
Indeed.
Before or after the whistle, that is the question.
And Maya Massacre just looking for an opportunity, finally gets through, picks up 5 points, making this 10 so far.
Yeah, Alan, your grill showing us that finger, indicating that that was the full 5-point scoring pass, as Sandra Demolish for San Fernando Valley Junior Derby heads to the penalty box, joining her jammer.
Maya Massacre picking up 5 more points, picking it to 15. Good jam for her. 89 points, I-5 Rollergirls, 55 San Fernando. Still a battle of speed and strength happening here. 15 minutes, 40 seconds left in this first period.
Both San Fernando Valley Junior Derby and I-5 Rollergirls are a part of Junior Roller Derby Association, and they are both at the level 3 tier, which is the highest tier that you can be in for JRDA.
And with a start like that from Lex Accelerator, you can tell why. There's a diminished pack right now for San Fernando, and that's not helping them. Made it a little bit easier, but she is able to juke and jive just as good as any adult. 5 points picked up for I-5.
Getting some support at the back of the pack as they form a defensive wall for Maya Grain. Another 5-point pass here on behalf of Lex Accelerator, number 18 for I-5 Rollergirls.
Maya Grain back in the mix, breaks the pack. Now it's going to start her scoring pass. Lex Accelerator trying to pick up the last ones. She does, but Maya Grain, good effort towards the end, 2 of her own.
I know everybody here has been watching Junior Roller Derby all day. And there will be Junior Roller Derby Association championships with 24 teams, 3 tracks in August 7th to 9th. And you can look up information if you are part of a Junior Roller Derby Association team.
Yes, indeed. You're going to want to check that out. the best junior derby in the country is great for the country. Destroyer breaking through. Rabies having some trouble. Karmic Death adding to that, but now she gets through.
Working the two skaters up at the front of the pack. Evades Lita Riot, number 124 on the outside for the 4-point pass. That was Destroyer, number 91. T-Pain now working alongside Evil McNevil. Destroyer through, pulls around Lita Riot, a lot of moves, and 8 ounces of monkey mess.
And a welcome sight, Spider. This is 5-on-5 on the track. We have an empty penalty box and have for the past 20 seconds or so.
You say that now.
I do.
But wait.
I know.
But wait. Maya Massacre.
Psycho Simpson.
It's true. Phoebe Sting, the pivot here in the pack for I-5 Rollergirls. Nice force out of bounds by the pivot for San Fernando. That's Devil or Nothing. 2x333. Lead jammer awarded now to 664 Psycho Simpson for San Fernando Valley.
Devil or Nothing deserves a lot of credit for where this play is right now. She really pulled Maya Massacre back.
Psycho Simpson being escorted out of bounds by number 21, Phoebe Sting, the pivot for I-5 Rollergirls. Sandra Demolish now headed back to the bench for San Fernando.
So the fast times were able to pick up 2-point differential on that. 111 I-5, 63 San Fernando with a good little head of steam starting up. 12 minutes and about 15 seconds left in this first period. L'Accelerator number 18, Maya Grain 5150, and L'Accelerator able to break through.
And both teams successfully keeping all their skaters out of the penalty box for the last jam and heading into this jam once again with no one. So at a full repertoire for each team, formulating that pack of skaters. And again, the tight cohesive movement utilized by both teams shows their skill. Malice in Wonderland moving forward, jumping in front of number 664 Psycho Simpson. Volleying for position.
Both jammers matching points. L'Accelerator's going to let it ride. Lita Riot breaks through L'Accelerator. Still in the pack. Trying to open that door. Only able to pull out 3.
Oh, you know who I'd really like to thank?
Who would you like to thank?
Fast Girl Skates.
Yes, you should.
And I will. They were the first physical storefront specializing in roller derby equipment, and they're owned and operated by Rat City Roller Girls, La Petite Mort, and Wiley Peyote. And I hear that lots of other lovely folks work for them.
That is true. Coach Vito being one of those lovely folks, and me on occasion. So check out www.fastgirlskates.com or see it at our store. When we come back, that is Maya Massacre and Monkey Mess for her first jam tonight.
Nice push out on number 26, Maya Massacre, as she heads way to the back of the pack now. She's trying to make her way through. And it does look like she stayed in bands as she did that pirouette on turn 2. Headed to the penalty box. Bippity Boppity Bruise, number 204 for San Fernando Valley Junior Derby.
And Maya Massacre picking up 4 Monkey Mess.
Coach Dad with some pretty clear communication that he wants her to roll it out, and now she's headed to the penalty boxes. It will be a power jam as she incurred a low block penalty. So power jam in favor of Maya Massacre, number 26, and the penalty box for San Fernando is currently full. Sandra Demolish, number 0, sitting in the penalty box, along with Bippity Boppity Bruise and their jammer, Monkey Mess.
Let me tell you, I believe both teams have been in penalty trouble this period, but this situation where San Fernando has had a jammer and then 2 blockers in the box has happened a little bit more often.
And that was a beautiful execution of a star pass. We had Maya Massacre hand off to the pivot Karmic Death, number 55. She skirts around right on the edge, around Devil or Nothing. 2-3-3-3. 5-point scoring pass for Karmic Death. Phoebe Sting, T-Pain working the inside. They're going to use that passive offense technique, utilizing numbers. The pivot, Devil or Nothing, move back, attempting to span the bridge.
Monkey Mess now re-engaging the pack, but that is a tight, tight four wall. She did pick up 2 points. Good effort right there by Monkey Mess. Timeout. San Fernando Valley Junior Derby Fast Times.
GreenMonster.com. Green Monster Roller Sport is a skate company whose total focus is to produce fresh ideas and innovative product design to the roller skating market. And if you know Quadzilla, you know that this is true. And they specifically focus on roller derby, producing some of the best brands known in roller derby, including Annex skate boots, Reckless wheels, Gumball toe stops, Moto bearings, Heartless wheels, Astronauts, and Berserk skate wheels.
They're berserk.
I know it. Check out greenmonster.com with no E's.
Yeah, this is just like no vowels in that. That's GRNMNSTR. It's like a word that shouldn't exist except in the world of awesome skates.
That's right.
I think it's Spider. I think this is a good idea for San Fernando to be taking a timeout at this point. The momentum was really starting to move against them in their direction. It's starting to just be really, really penalty heavy and giving some opportunities that maybe they shouldn't after having a good run of both teams being very clean. So this could be an opportunity for them to sort of get their heads together, change it up a bit.
Slowing down the momentum just a bit can offer up and provide an opportunity for that shift. I agree. A big thank you to Slaughter County Roller Vixens again for the 5th annual Wild West Showdown. Lots and lots of people, a plethora even, an army of volunteers from Slaughter County Roller Vixens. So a big thank you to them, and thank you to all of the non-skating officials and skating officials for that matter.
And especially our EMTs who keep our girls safe and take care of their bumps and bruises.
Do have Thurston Gore as our penalty box manager. He's been sort of shifting roles here today, sometimes announcing and then moving on to workabouts here, so he's a busy guy. That's the ref misogynist, I believe, having a conversation with Coach Vito and Coach Dad. And once they are done with the completion of this conversation and all things have happened, we will let you know what's happening. But I want to provide the refs an opportunity to actually have those conversations with the coaches and the skaters potentially involved prior to sharing that information. Okay, so what we have here is Monkey Mess. There was an official review. The question was about the penalty, what sent her to the penalty box. That call stands. She left the box early, so now there was an illegal procedure for leaving the box early, so now she has incurred another minute.
I didn't have to tell you anything. You guys are right on the money.
So now this is going to be a power start for Destroyer. It's been an extremely effective jammer for I-5 so far, picking up all, if not most, of her lead jams when she got to the line.
She decisively makes her way around Sandra Demolish, number 0, and Maya Grain, 5150, there in the pack for San Fernando Valley, as number 52, Death by Beth, moves up. Tries to break up that wall a bit. Little spill there by Destroyer, but not enough to take her to her knees. She just grazed one knee pad.
And active work right now being done. That's Maya Grain getting an out of play call.
but you'll notice the defense there on behalf of San Fernando Valley. They really did a nice job in executing and holding off Destroyer. Not by any means an easy task.
No. I said this before in the previous game. Destroyer needs the smallest sliver of light to get through. And when she does, she goes at it very, very fast with a lot of confidence. And that's a rare thing to see in jammers these days.
Monkey Mess has been released from the penalty box, but just nailed by number 5, Keelbon. Keelbon previously skating under the name Gory Locks. But
yeah,
from here on out, I believe it will just be Keelbon.
Yes, indeed. But for those old school people, if you're wondering who that is and you're thinking she looks a lot like Gory Locks, same person. In fact,
it's not her doppelganger.
I've never seen them in the same room together.
Funny that. An official timeout now. Misogynist going to confer with the referee crew. And they're all going to move towards that. Take this opportunity to talk about Sally Santana Funds for the Homeless. The voice of the homeless in Kitsap County, Sally Santana is known in the community for her faith and values column that ran in the Kitsap Sun every other Saturday, and for the volunteer work she did, primarily in the areas of hunger and homelessness. She spent a good deal of her childhood and youth living in those conditions. So help Slaughter County Roller Vixens honor this amazing woman and the crusade she fought for, and help them slaughter homelessness in Kitsap County. Check out the booth setup right here in this venue to find out how you can do your part to help the less fortunate.
18 Accelerator, 40 Rabies for I-5 and San Fernando fast times respectively. Rabies having a little trouble getting through. Cut track being called on Hunter right now, who's headed to the box.
Yeah, and that official timeout was simply to make sure that the ref lanes were clear. So just making sure that everybody was safe, the referees and everyone else.
Very good. We all want to be safe, whether we are in the middle of the track or on the outside of it. 171 right now, I-5 Rollergirls San Fernando, 73, 6 minutes and about 15 seconds left in this first period. It's going to be Maya Massacre. She's up against Psycho Simpson. Sorry, Lex Seller, Maya Massacre, I was right.
And we have a forearm penalty being assessed to Maya Massacre. She's going to have a sit down next to Hunter, who's also in the penalty box. They are going to be joined now by Sierra de Blade, number 25. Full penalty box for I-5 Roller Girls. Opportunity here for Psycho Simpson, 664. And she's able to do that with a 5-point pass.
Full house right now for I-5. This is where San Fernando has found themselves several times. I-5s have been able to take advantage, but now San Fernando turning the page on them, taking advantage of themselves, exactly what they should be doing. Another 5 points, 10 points so far for Psycho Simpson.
Keelbon and Karmic Death in the pack on the track for, wow, huge sandwich there by those two blockers that I just mentioned on Psycho Simpson. However, she is now at 15 points in this jam for San Fernando Valley. Hunter has been released. She makes her way around Maya Grain to rejoin her teammates at the front of the pack. Nice offensive move there by number 124, Lita Riot for San Fernando Valley.
And Hunter, a good addition, keeping Psycho Simpson in the recycled position. Now full pack, empty box with Maya Massacre re-engaging.
It's like being back at having a full energy drink.
Absolutely.
There is an after party tonight, and it will be for all ages. It's at Sticks and Stones Billiard Hall here in Bremerton on Wheaton Way. So check it out.
Big, huge jam right there. 20 points for the fast times, bringing them up to 93. And we come back, something that I feel like we've seen before, number 40 Rabies up against 91 Destroyer. Destroyer taken down right off the line. Rabies recycled though with Death by Beth.
And that's going to go to Destroyer, number 91 for I-5 Rollergirls. Rabies now hop, skip, and a jump. She makes her way through as well on that initial pass. Oh, genius jump there for Destroyer. They put up the hand signal warning that they're about to be out of play. So a lot of moves, then moves back to rejoin the pack.
And the San Fernando defense, Psycho Simpson last line, tries to pick her up, can't quite do it, but Rabies is now out with 4 of her own. Destroyer able to take the differential her direction with 9-4 on that last jam.
Number 180, a lot of moves now sitting in the penalty box for a high block.
And at the jammer line, L'Accelerator 18 and Maya Grain for I-5 and San Fernando, respectively.
Double or nothing, Lita Riot, Sandra Demolish, working in that assist for Maya Grain on behalf of San Fernando Valley. L'Accelerator pushing through. Karmic Death with a huge hit. She goes in for a sternum check and aims a little too high and clips and gets that high block penalty. Sandra Demolish moves back and they're going to force the cut on L'Accelerator. L'Accelerator is now headed to the penalty box. This is Maya Grain's power jam. 2 minutes, 14 seconds left on the period clock. 1 minute, 19 seconds left on the jam clock. Accelerator again headed to the penalty box. Maya Grain putting 5 down.
Fast times have cracked that century mark, now sitting at 107, starting to bring back this lead from I-5, bring it back into a manageable state. That'll be now 15 points from Maya Grain. The San Fernando Valley Junior Derby Fast Times fans have got to be really, really excited here at the end of this first period.
Audrey Hedburn making her way around Sandra Demolish. Nice little dance move there on skates by Maya Grain, and this is a 20-point jam so far for her. That brings them to 117 points for San Fernando Valley.
I-5 was enjoying a pretty big lead, and San Fernando is determined to knock it down. Another 5 points, 25. Still time left on the clock with points to be made.
A lot of moves returning to the penalty box for San Fernando Valley. Sandra Demolish at the back, 2 wall of defense, spanning the bridge, Malice in Wonderland, Audrey Hedburn.
Maya Grain, a heroic 30 points to 4 points for I-5. If you're a San Fernando fan, you should be making some noise. Very likely the last jam of this period. It's going to be Maya Massacre against Rabies, 184-127. I-5 San Fernando.
Sandra Demolish sees the setup they put on the outside, and she tries to move over, get out in front of that outside line, but Maya Massacre slips on by.
Maya Massacre out first, but Rabies putting on the pressure. Maya's going to take it.
And Maya with 4 points on the scoreboard.
And both coaches are going to let the clock tick down. So we are now at halftime. At half, we are I-5 Rollergirls 188, San Fernando Valley Junior Derby Fast Times 130 Spider. Oh my.
And we have a whole 30 minutes left of gameplay here. Wow. 58 points. And when you can rack up 30 points at one time,
yes,
you know, a couple of jams away.
If
in fact the opposing jammer goes to the penalty box, and if in fact your defense and offense are working.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've seen it happen several times. It happened more for I-5 than it did for San Fernando, but we saw that I-5 turned it over, gave them those opportunities. San Fernando just as capable to bring those back. So,
and they took advantage, and rightly so. They were able to see where they could sort of put some chinks in that armor, and they, you know, that last jam proved positive for them with 30 points. It's good stuff.
Yep. Coach Vito and Coach Cutta not going to be able to sit on their heels by any means. San Fernando is coming to get it, and they started the momentum. So I'm real excited for the second half of this game. I can't wait to come back, Spider. We'll see you out there in the virtual world in about 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
You're virtually here.
I'm virtually here too.
Thanks so much.
So we're just about ready to get started with the second half of this very exciting game between the I-5 Rollergirls and the San Fernando Valley Junior Derby Fast Times. I want to just reintroduce the two teams for those of you out there on the web. For the I-5 Rollergirls, number 16, T-Pain, number 18, Lex Accelerator, 21 is Phoebe Sting, 25 is Serrated Blade, 26 is Maya Massacre, 3 is Lexi and I Know It, 31, Evil MacNevil, 35, Hunter, 4, Malice in Wonderland, 5, Micah Keelbon, 52, Death by Beth, 55 is Karmic Death, 9 is Audrey Hedburn, 91 is Destroyer. They're coached by Coach Cutta and Coach Vito. Spider, who do we got for San Fernando?
San Fernando Valley Junior Derby Fast Times, bringing to the table 0, Sandra Demolish, 124, Lita Riot, 180, a lot of moves, 204, Bippity Boppity Bruise, 2333, Devil or Nothing, 28, Black Eyed Blondie, 360, Bamber, 4302, Cha Cha Glide, 5150, Maya Grain, 664, Psycho Simpson, 85, Felony Melanie, 8 ounces, Monkey Mess, 40, Rabies, and they have Coach Dad and Coach McShovin at their bench.
Ah, yes, indeed. The 1-2 punch of Dad and McShovin. So far, Spider, very fast game. But it seems like penalties have been pretty uneven, and that's maybe reflected in the score.
I absolutely agree. 19 minutes in the penalty box for San Fernando Valley, opposed to the 9 minutes in the penalty box for I-5 Rollergirls. And at least one skater sitting on 5 penalties for San Fernando. And right out of the box, right back into the box. And I-5 skating a much different kind of game, so keeping more of their skaters on the track at one time.
Yeah, and you noted, and I think quite rightly, that we're not seeing a lot of out-of-play penalties. A couple of things that you noted is that the pack was very tight.
Correct.
And but I also think that they're playing offense, and that's something that you don't see a lot. When you get that passive offense thing happening, then the penalty that's going to be assessed very likely once the no-pack situation is called is out of play.
Out of play. And throughout this tournament, paying attention to some of that and keeping track of some of those stats, there have been a considerable amount of out-of-play penalties. So it's nice to see something different. There have been at least 4 low-block penalties for San Fernando Valley, which is kind of unusual. I don't see that quite as frequently per team. So perhaps that was a discussion that was had during our halftime.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that anything around penalties is going to be part of the discussion for halftime. Clearly, with such an
uneven.
Don't get them. Still, not reflected in the score, but not as much as I would expect. San Fernando still a respectable 130 to 188 for I-5 at the top of this half.
Yeah, and generally there's a reflection or a shared sort of comorbidity, and I use that, it's a medical term, but sort of association between the amount of minutes you spend in the penalty box as compared to the points ahead you are or behind you are. And usually the lower the penalties, the higher the score for that team. The more the penalties, the lower the score for the team that spends more time in the penalty box. So kudos to San Fernando Valley in this way. And speaking of which, Maya Grain 5150 did escape on her initial pass. However, Destroyer had already skirted through. Now she's 4 points in for this jam on behalf of I-5 Rollergirls. Audrey Hedburn, Keelbon, that tandem pair up at the front. Keelbon is going to be assessed the penalty. She's head to the penalty box. That's number 5, previously skating as Gory Locks. Again, not her doppelganger. They are the same person.
Sandra Demolish doing a great job kind of knocking back that onslaught by Destroyer. Destroyer keeping an eye on her box and deciding, I'm going to go with what the coach tells me, calls off that jam. 6 points for her against Maya Graham at 4.
And interestingly, Kielbon has not been in the penalty box thus far until now. There's a first time for everything.
There you go. Always good to stay on the track, but every once in a while it just happens. Accelerator's up against Rabies. Accelerator takes the low road, Rabies to hide. Accelerator gets there a little bit before her, picking up lead jammer.
And with no fear, she pushes around Monkey Mess on that inside lane. Hunter, Sierra did Blade, making that 2-all, and there's pretty clear communication from Hunter. They wanted to move up. Death by Beth working with Sierra did Blade there in the pack 4 I-5 Rollergirls. Monkey Mess now sitting in the penalty box.
Along with
just kidding.
Sandra Demolish.
Trying to make sure that everybody's in the penalty box. That's supposed to be in the penalty box, and so that's going to be Sandra Demolish, number 0 for San Fernando Valley, sitting in the penalty box.
Lita Riot up for jamming Maya Massacre. I don't know if did Lita. I don't think she jammed in the first period. She played defensively, a lot of defensive plays.
Yes.
Now out as lead jammer, so good call there by San Fernando for certain. Maya Massacre heads to the box. This is going to be a power jam and huge opportunity for Fast Times.
It's the ninja play. Wait till the second half and then bring her out.
Absolutely.
Ninja. I
The
love
ringer.
ninjas. That's right. The ringer. Pushing around again. She's going to pull down 5 more points on behalf of San Fernando Valley.
Just
Fast
one
Times.
blocker out there. That's Phoebe Sting.
Kielbon has been released from the penalty box. She's making her way to the back of the pack. 5 more points attained for San Fernando Valley. Lita Riot. Psycho Simpson now said that she is going to sit in the penalty box.
Lita Riot doing exactly what she should right now. Take advantage, take advantage, take advantage. Picking up 5 more points, bringing her jam total so far to 20.
And in the first half, Psycho Simpson very low on penalties, if any. So she also is spending a minute in the penalty box for San Fernando Valley Fast Times.
San Fernando Valley Fast Times 154, I-5 195, 26 minutes left in this game. Raby's going to start in a power position. 1 blocker advantage to Fast Times. Rabies takes the outside, finds it nice and easy.
This is a chance to make some of those points up. 154, 195 in favor of I-5. Power start for Rabies. Rabies ekes around on the outside for a 5-point pass. That's 5 points on the scoreboard for Rabies.
Maya Massacre attempting to pass the star right now. Destroyer attempting to be the receiver, was knocked out before she could put it on her helmet. She has to do that in play. Was able to get it, but not without Rabies already picking up 10 points while they get that sorted out.
And the question would have been if she had also pushed her hips around Sierra did Blade, but I don't think she had, so she got the 2-point pull and the 2-point draw on that, bringing San Fernando Valley to 166. 195 I-5 Rollergirls.
San Fernando turning on the gas in this second period. I-5 giving up some opportunities that they might not. Could be deadly to them. Accelerator up against Psycho Simpson. Accelerator's had enough, so she's going to pick up that lead jammer. Psycho Simpson, no slouch herself. Getting knocked around by Karmic Death a bit. Phoebe Sting, Kielbon. Karmic Death still gets around. Meanwhile, Accelerator watching and calling off at that last moment.
199 I-5 Rollergirls, 166 San Fernando Valley.
It's like kind of like opposite time with the 1 and the 9s and the 6s.
It's opposite land.
It's opposite land. It's like they're upside down. So, Fast Times closing the gap. 1 blocker down. Destroyer, Rabies. Destroyer can't find any love to the outside. Rabies just going up against Serrated Blade right up there, and Lexi and I know it. In the confusion, Destroyer able to get out. How does she do it? So hard.
And Sandra Demolish, just in the, several minutes that we've been in, has already been to the penalty box twice in this half. She's now going to rejoin pack play. Taking out Lexi and I know it. Lexi and I know it, shaking her head. We are going to have a huge pileup on turn 1, and Destroyer's going to call that off.
Destroyer took a tumble. Looks like she got a couple of skates on her legs and other places. Able to get back up. She's a real fighter, but calling off is probably a really good move right there once you get banged up like that. Lexcelerator, lead a riot. Full pack of I-5. Maya Grain sitting down for Fast Times. Lexcelerator tries to get through, but Sandra Demolish does what she does.
Monkey Mess went in for a shoulder check and missed the target. Oh.
Lita Riot tries to take on Lexcelerator and does not end up on the right end of that shoulder.
And then using a little bit of raising the hand to incite the crowd.
Yes, indeed.
Five minutes already in the penalty box in the second half for San Fernando Valley.
Now just 32 points separating the two teams. Rabies up against Maya Massacre. Death by Beth looking to cover on the inside, does a good job. Maya Massacre having a tough time up against that 3, now 2. Now 1 wall, that was Psycho Simpson, last line of defense, able to pick up that lead jammer.
A lot of moves headed back to the penalty box. And that could potentially be problematic moving forward with the 20 minutes, 18 seconds left. In the second period, Psycho Simpson, 664, holding strong in the inside line. Not quite enough, though. Maya Massacre, oh, she cuts the track.
Big opportunity for Rabies. That is not the person you want on the track for an opportunity. 36 points. Well, yes, I believe, yes, because the points have been counted. So 36 points. Now dropping down 5. Death by Beth looking to cover. Can't get her on the inside. 5 more, turns a nickel into a dime. Looking to her team. An uncharacteristic passive offense being played right now by Fast Times. Haven't seen that much this game.
Indeed not. A different sort of half, though, now being with a single jammer on the track for Fast Times.
Death by Beth being sent off to lead for direction of play.
And a big kudos to the referees on this side of the track who have to contend with the whistles from track 1, because they are very loud.
Refs and players alike.
That's true.
Now 195, 206, 209, sorry. Last points being tallied there.
19 minutes, 37 seconds left in the second period.
14 points separating the two teams. Much closer than I know Coach Vito wants it to be. Exactly where Coach Dad wants it to be, or at least the right direction. Destroyer.
Oh. Lita Wright with a little bit of confusion there off the line. It might have actually worked in her favor, as there was some indication that there was an extra helmet cover out there because their pivot was for I-5 was already in the penalty box. Lita Wright actually thought they were talking to her as she looked at. Oh, and Lita Wright now heads to the penalty box for a backblock penalty.
Along with Destroy, they sat down like almost instantaneously. Except Lita Riot didn't sit in her exact chair. Both jammers released almost simultaneously as well. 209, 195. An interesting little jammer sit down right there. Destroyer holding on. Lita Riot getting by Phoebe Sting. Going point for point.
That's right, Lita Riot with 4 points of her own. Sandra Demolish. Devil or Nothing. Oh! Bibbidi Bobbidi Bruise. And Cha Cha Glide. 4302. And we have Bibbidi Bobbidi Bruise now sitting in the penalty box.
And 8 points so far for I-5 for 4 fast times. Lita Riot now been slowed down. Destroyer not so much. Lita Riot scanning up behind Keelbon. Just holding on. Destroyer taking advantage of her speed and confidence there.
It went kind of like this. Whoosh.
It did kind of go whoosh. Lita Riot, to her credit, now playing defense.
Sandra Demolish with just the drop on Destroyer. Woo. And we have a team timeout for San Fernando. Remember to check out the after party if you are here on location.
Or nearby.
Or nearby. I mean, you could live near here and then just go to the after party.
Why not?
At Sticks and Stones Billiard Hall. And again, all ages events, so any juniors that want to join are welcome to attend. And again, Sticks and Stones Billiard Hall in Bremerton, Washington.
FlatTrackRevolution.com. Flat Track Revolution is working on changing the face of derby apparel by offering cutting-edge design that skaters, fans, and people who just like cool stuff, they're going to all enjoy it. Flat Track Revolution is also interested in helping the greater derby community through charitable works for skaters injured in the line of derby, which is great of them. If you or someone you know has suffered a catastrophic derby injury, please contact us for more details. God bless Flat Track Revolution. Check them out.
And I was talking about tournaments earlier, and in the Pacific Northwest, there is a championship tournament here for leagues in the Pacific Northwest, hosted by Kitsap Derby Brats, who skate next. So after this bout is over, Kitsap Derby Brats are up against Foco Spartan Babes from Fort Collins.
Right now, I-5 Rollergirls 227, San Fernando Valley Junior Derby Fast Times 201, 26 points. In case you need me to do math, which if you do, that's probably not good for you. Not very good at it myself. 17 minutes and 15 seconds left in this game. San Fernando doing a great job taking advantage of some good opportunities awarded to them by I-5, but just all around skating much better than they were in the first period. So, and that's showing up on the scoreboard here.
We have some check-in on ensuring that the points are correct. This is now an official timeout. Collaboration time. That's what they'd say if it were a school district. A little bit different here in roller derby. At this venue, the Salad Shack, you can get a salad made to order. They have bread bowls in which you can get chili and or salmon corn chowder.
So what's happened there is that I-5 jammer was awarded 4 more points on her first pass. She successfully jumped the apex and landed it, but the points were not awarded, so they are being awarded now.
So that brings them to 30 points.
Yes, indeed.
It was a successive count of 10, which is very easy.
This is math brought to you by Spider and LeGrand Mort.
That's right. Don't try this at home.
Please don't, because you are going to do a much better job. We will be embarrassed. When we come back, that is Maya Grain against Lex Accelerator, 51-50 against 18. San Fernando Valley and I-5 respectively. "17 minutes, 15 seconds left in the game. Just the 9th jam.
Misogynist checking in with the EMT staff now. EMT staff having a conversation with Bippity Boppity Bruise, who is currently sitting in the penalty box, number 204. And that brings us back to I-5 Rollergirls, San Fernando Valley. Maya Grain, utility player. She had been utilized primarily in the first half, not always as a jammer, but she was in pretty significant jammer rotation, to say the least. She is now Dying Star once again up against Destroyer. Maya Grain with 4 points.
And she's going to call it off. She saw Lex Accelerator putting on that pressure. Just wants to play it safe. It's a good idea right now. With penalties being such a factor in this game, I would play it as conservative as possible.
Rabies, number 40, at the line against Karmic Death, number 55. Muscle, muscle, muscle. Just trying to push her way through. Switching it up a little bit there. Karmic Death moves to the outside, and she's able to skirt around, but then almost got taken out of bounds.
But Rabies ended up about a quarter track ahead.
Eva McNevo, T-Pain, Audrey Hedburn, and Keelbon in the back there with that strong defense.
But that's about as good as you could have gotten out of that. Rabies just turning her hips and making as many points as she can while calling off the jam. Nice heads-up play by that player right there. It was just one, but it's one more than you had when you started the jam.
And it only takes 1 point to win.
Absolutely. 231, 206. I-5 still leading, but not by a whole lot. 15 minutes, 30 seconds about left in this game.
Oh, right through.
Maya.
Oh, she picked up a forearm, though. So power jam for Destroyer, 91 I-5 Rollergirls.
Destroyer picking up the lead jammer, as I assume Maya Grain picked up that penalty before she broke the pack. So the lead jammer was still available to be awarded and has been awarded. Destroyer picking up her first 5 on this scoring pass. I have a feeling that we're not going to let up on the gas too much on this jam.
That would be my recommendation. In any situation with any team, that would be an objective observation. Death by Beth sitting in the penalty box. We have 664 Psycho Simpson joining her jammer in the penalty box. A little bit of cupping the shoulder there by Bamber, 360. Rita Riot, Bamber, and Sandra Demolish in the pack for San Fernando Valley.
Bamber's such a fighter. She's just going right back at it after that huge hit by Destroyer. Shows great courage by these young players. Maya Grain now back in and dealing with Serrated Blade, able to get through. Lita Riot helping Destroyer to the inside.
Yes, we'll go with helping.
Yeah, we'll go with helping.
We'll go with that auxiliary.
We will say that she gave her the opportunity to visit the refs on the inside of the track.
That's right. Perhaps she hadn't seen enough of them.
That's right. I feel like they were writing cards, they were missing each other. You have to keep up with pen pals. That's how it goes. We come back, that's Rabies number 40 with L'Accelerator number 18 for I-5. Rabies laying on her own hits for L'Accelerator. L'Accelerator is just going to wait for her to come back. It's not going to take the bait. Re-entered behind Leader Riot, making it safe. And picks up the lead jammer for her trouble. Hunter.
Yeah, so it was the effort was not lost, not unseen. She was rewarded. L'Accelerator. 0 points that go around for Rabies number 40.
L'Accelerator taking down Keelbon a little bit. Having a friendly. Sorry about that. You know, I was just trying to do the best I could. 260 to 206. I-5 now extending their lead again. But we've seen that disappear very, very quickly.
And if you haven't had enough of watching San Fernando Valley Junior Derby, tomorrow morning at 8:30 on track 2, they will take on Rocky Mountain Roller Punks.
Maya Grain and Maya Massacre, Battle of the Mayas. Maya Grain ending up on the right side of that battle, and Maya Massacre headed to the box. Back block from Maya Massacre. I said that this can turn around very quickly. This is an opportunity to do so, so fast times.
Not anymore. Cut track penalty on Migraine, so that window of opportunity has been shut, at least for the time being.
But what is absolutely going to happen is we're going to go for these 2 minutes now.
Yes, indeed.
So opportunity for both teams with a lot of time to tick off the board in a jam. Maya Grain's the first to take that opportunity. Breaks through with 4 points. Maya Massacre. A tough time, but Monkey Mess making a mess out there. 8 ounces of hard hits.
And she was working with Cha-Cha Glide. Cha-Cha Glide got knocked out on the straightaway.
Indeed, Maya answers with 4 herself. Oh no, that was her initial pass, sorry. Maya now making her scoring pass. Back block assessed on Maya Massacre. Again, that's her second one.
And where I said the window was shut, it's once again open.
Yes, indeed.
Not an open and shut case. Sorry.
8 points so far.
I think 12 out of Derby has made me a little
Make
shoddy.
that 13. 10 minutes, 35 seconds left. Hole attempting to be created right now.
Karmic
Phoebe
Death.
Sting looking to cover.
Yeah, that was a nice move by Karmic Death as she pushes Maya Green to the inside of the track. And again, we're going to have Maya Green push around Evil McNeevil. And it's going to be a power start on the next jam on behalf of San Fernando Valley.
18 points on that jam. Great job. 224. San Fernando Valley, 260 I-5. It's possible this game will just go to the team that makes the least amount of errors. Rabies starting in that power start position. That's L'Accelerator out there looking to cover her, along with Keelbon and Audrey Hedburn, but slows her down a bit, but she gets out pretty quickly. Lead jammer for Rabies.
Pulling the inside lane, Keelbon. And we're going to have some force around by Rabies. Keelbon, and she moves and jukes to the right around the pivot for a 5-point pass for San Fernando.
Star pass happening right now with L'Accelerator picking up the star from Maya Massacre.
And Interesting.
And looks like something may be said.
Yeah, so we are going to have an official review.
We're going to have official review.
Official timeout, at least for now. Whether or not it is an official review will be determined shortly. Very shortly. Swiftly, in fact. Check out the salad shack. Salad made to order after this. Kitsap Derby Brats, Foco Spartan Babes.
That was one of my favorite things that just happened, is that the officials went to wave Coach Vito over, and Coach Vito was like, "No, I think I know what just happened. So you just talk amongst yourselves, and I'll catch you when you get back to me."
Yeah, misogynist is going to check in, make sure things are covered. Official timeout.
No pun intended. Where we are right now, 260 I-5 Rollergirls, San Fernando Valley, fast times, 234.
Wow. It's kind of impressive. Walbo Showdown, Army of Officials, Tournament Head Skating Officials, Dizzy Duzzer, Tournament Head NSO, Genuine Trouble. We are going to have clarification here momentarily from our announcer referee liaison. So they were contesting whether or not it was legal that during the Star Pass that the pivot helmet cover had fallen to the track. It is determined that that is legal for it to drop and the pivot to then take that jammer position.
We come back as Destroyer against Psycho Simpson. Psycho Simpson up against Hunter, last line of defense, and Death by Beth. Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, nobody watching. Destroyer picks up the lead jammer.
Psycho Simpson attempting to make her way around Malice in Wonderland, and then again by Death by Beth. Psycho Simpson making that initial pass. Destroyer pulling up behind her, calling off the jam, headed back to the bench.
Destroyer just rolling with those 5 points. Hunter will head to the box, 1 blocker advantage for fast times.
Hunter now sitting in the penalty box. This is at least the second time she's sat in the penalty box.
Sorry, that is Psycho Simpson also sitting in the penalty box. So no blocker advantage right now.
And here's what's happened. We have had a foul out on Maya Grain, 5150. Her penalty to be served by Psycho Simpson, 664, functioning currently as the pivot. So she's in the pivot, or she's in the penalty box, the pivot box. It doesn't belong just to the pivot. It belongs to all of the skaters, should they choose to accept the challenge of getting a penalty, that is.
Rabies jumps the apex, but lands 1 skate in, 1 skate out. Very intelligently goes to her knees without getting back up in to pick up that cut track penalty. Got herself back inside, recycled herself. That's good heads-up play.
Accelerator, 4 more points on the scoreboard for her. Rabies attempting to go in for another scoring pass. Audrey Hedburn, the last line, escorting her to the inside of the track. She pulls around to the right of Phoebe Sting, the pivot for I-5 Rollergirls, and then to the left of Kilbon on the inside for another 4-point pass. Accelerator pushing through the wall at the back of San Fernando Valley.
287, 242, not a lot of points separating these two teams. 45. We've seen 30 go away in a blink. 5 minutes and a little bit of clock changing right now. 5 minutes and 33 seconds. Destroyer up against Devil or Nothing for her first time at the jammer line.
As Maya Grain used heavily as a jammer, so putting in some more talent here for San Fernando Valley. Devil or Nothing.
Death by Beth looks to catch Devil or Nothing. Doesn't quite do it. Destroyer getting piled up right before turn 3. And taking Sandra Demolish to...
Low block penalty on Black Eyed Blondie. She's headed to the penalty box for San Fernando. Direction of play penalty on Psycho Simpson.
And 5 points for Destroyer. High block being assessed right now. Death by Beth. 2 blockers in for fast times, 1 blocker in for I-5. Destroyer just looking to roll it out. Devil or Nothing. Having a tough time getting around Serrated Blaney to T-Pain. And that's Karmic Death taking her down as well. Destroyer kind of running into her own blockers, but just pouring on the points.
Yeah, that was the jammer lap point. That's 5 points for I-5 Rollergirls. Destroyer number 91. Devil or Nothing taking on Karmic Death. Finally making her way around for 4 points for San Fernando Valley. With mere seconds left on the jam clock. There are only like 2 seconds left.
And some good life in I-5 Rollergirls, courtesy of Destroyer and that 27-point jam there naturally. Still 8 points put up by Devil or Nothing, so bringing them to 250 to 314. Accelerator Rabies, 3 minutes left.
It was a 19-point advantage so for Destroyer. Psycho Simpson back on the track out from the penalty box. Jammer status awarded to Accelerator.
But Raby's not far behind, about a half track, though she is an extremely fast skater, so she's going to make that up quickly. Accelerator shaking off a couple of hits.
Yeah, that was Psycho Simpson and Lita Riot, number 124.
Both those players have been incredible defensively. Accelerator just now in a pack of 4, trying to negotiate.
Keelbahn exercising some really strong communication skills with her fellow blockers on the track, very calmly indicating where they potentially would be most effective. We did have Rabies evade that to put 4 points on the scoreboard, but demonstrating how calmly the I-5 Rollergirls currently playing and moving forward. For the rest, we'll see what happens for the rest of the 1 minute 52 seconds on the period clock. And we're calling for a medic.
By the small differential there, I assume that I-5 is playing a bit with strategy that has maybe something to do with time. And working out.
Oh, what do we have here? Bippity Boppity Bruise. Now putting the star on her helmet on behalf of San Fernando Valley.
Karmic Death. 1 minute 49. This could be the final jam.
I looked for a second there that she might be training to be a referee in the future. She puts her hands up like this. 0 points.
Bippity Boppity Bruise. Up against that white wall of Karmic Death. Takes advantage of the screen. Bippity Boppity Bruise now out half track behind Karmic Death. Scoring pass.
And moving in for the kill. That was Psycho Simpson. Karmic Death. There's a pun there somewhere.
I'm sure.
Psycho Simpson, Black Eyed Blondie. Monkey Mess. Sandra Demolish goes in for a hit. We have Karmic Death hopping over a down skater.
Multiplayer block being called on Audrey Hedburn. I-5 will be one down. Still have control of the clock, and Karmic Death has still got a 9-point differential so far. And that's going to be a cut track on Karmic Death.
Bippity boppity bruise. Now, the solitary jammer on the track. Karmic Death now sitting down in the penalty box. Lexi and I Know It. Nice push assist. Sternum blocking their run by the pivot on behalf of I-5. Number 31, Evil McNevel. Bridging the pack by Lexi and I Know It.
And right now, with what things look, this looks like this jam will count down and will be the final jam. Unless there are rules that are made up that I don't know about.
Bippity Boppity Bruise taking on Evil McNevel. Nice sweep, or attempted a sweep by Psycho Simpson, 664 for San Fernando Valley. Bippity Boppity Bruise. And we're going to get a block, an outplay penalty on Evil McNevel right at the final. Bippity Boppity Bruise. Unofficial final score, 271. San Fernando Valley. Fast times, 3:34. I-5 Roller Girls.
And we're just keeping an eye on it. We are getting some point adjustments here towards the end.
So I-5 Roller Girls with 2 more points assessed at least at the end there. So now we're going to add them all up. Potentially it could be 336. I-5 Roller Girls, 271. San Fernando Valley. San Fernando Valley making the long trip up from Los Angeles, California. If you live in Los Angeles and you are interested in roller derby, I hear they have practice.
Well, it's a hard-fought game, and we will wait for the final score before we announce the final score, but we feel very confident in calling this game here from Seattle. Please welcome your victors, the I-5 Rollergirls!
Stay trackside and offer up some much-deserved kudos and appreciation for our visiting team from Los Angeles, California, San Fernando Valley Junior Derby. Fast times.
Was an incredibly hard-fought game. Both teams, such similar skating styles, such good hits. The end, I think it came down to penalties and time, but really, really, really great skating by both teams.
When you really, you watched a switch coming into the half, after halftime, and the adjustment of play by San Fernando Valley.
Huge.
Yeah, it was a strong showing of what they're capable of. They were already in considerably penalty trouble as coming back from the half. Number 180, a lot of moves, was sitting on 5. 5150, Maya Grain was sitting on 3. And she eventually ended up fouling out in the second half. So considerable amount of penalties just coming back in.
Yes, indeed. Well, great game. I was privileged to call it, and thank you so much, Spider, for being here with me.
Absolutely. It's always a privilege and an honor to call for Junior Roller Derby, and a pleasure to call with you. I'm fairly certain it will happen again sometime.
Fantastic. For this game, I am LeGrand Mort.
And my name is Spider.
And we are signing off.